Interesting episode. Okay. The only problem with Santino and Andy is this podcast. Well, hello and welcome back to your favorite movie podcast. I'm Andy Matsky. That's Santino Vitale.
Yes, I am.
And we are here today to talk about movies. This is a show about movies, by movies, for movies. And we are just pleased to be back with you. The original plan for this episode, I can feel like we need to explain how we got here. We were originally going to record this episode in person,
Yeah.
question mark, because we were going to both be working on a shoot for a third party together. And we're like, oh, we could just, I actually think we're just like, oh, we could just hang out and record the podcast. And then the shoot came up and it's like, oh, we could just record it before the shoot. And that, and like maybe even because a hangout plan, it was like, oh, I could almost be like a live reaction. It was a guttural. It was going to be the guttural episode. And we've gone from the guttural reaction episode to, I think, the farthest in between me watching the movie and us recording, because our shoot got canceled due to the fact that there was extreme heat in Northeast Ohio and most of, I guess, North America, question mark, a lot of it. And we had to cancel due to the risk of life to life and property. And then we're here, like, and then other stuff came up.
Well, and then the holiday. There was a
Holiday,
4th of
yeah.
July.
4th of July.
There's just a lot of things happening.
Yeah. It's been hey. And so we really wanted this summer release schedule, but honestly, with the last 2.5 weeks, I also was convinced week 1 of into 2 weeks that we were going to be recording that week, and I had VBS at my church, and I kept being like, oh man, I'm an idiot. Why are we like, why would I schedule to record this week? And like, wait, no, we just recorded. So we have a lot going on. How are you doing, Santino? The folks want to know. I want to know.
I'm doing spiffy. I'm doing something. I've been making money, making ends, and I, just
making ends meet, whatever that exactly means. Like,
yeah, well, it's like when you grab one thing and you grab the other thing, and you're like, just do it, and then you don't want to.
It's like they're not just barely not close enough, and you're like, ugh.
And you're just forcing it.
But then you make it happen,
or you don't. And if it's like a bungee cord, they snap and hit you in the face, and you got to go to the hospital. But like, that's where I've been, is kind of just like trying to force things to happen, and life's fighting me, but. We've both been very busy. We both need a haircut. We both.
Yeah, it's true.
You took off your hat there for a second. And it was like,
bam.
Yeah. And
it's not why I'm wearing the hat, but it's also why I'm wearing the hat.
There you go. And Andy's sitting in his grandmother's basement.
Yep. Welcome back to the basement. Yep. Yeah, we've gone down a couple levels to the sub basement where grandma lives.
Yep. I didn't know you had a sub basement. Yeah, and I love that that's where grandma lives. The sub basement. She's currently there, and you guys like live 2 stories above her. She's underground, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. The light isn't good for her health.
Yeah. It burns. It freezes. No, so we've just been really busy. We've had a lot of life going on, and the original release schedule just kind of got sidelined by a lot of heat and a lot of holidays. And so I've been doing my thing, and Andy's been doing his thing. We finally got together now for the first time in a while to discuss movies.
Yeah.
So we either have a real treat or it's going to be really incoherent. I'm not sure yet.
I'm leaning more one way than the other, and I'm not going to tell you which. How was your 4th of July? See, part of the conceit of this episode was like it could be like patriotic because it was going to release right before the 4th of July. But then we never really even went that way in any sort of way. But how was your 4th of July? Did you do anything?
Nothing. I never do anything on 4th of July. I have an old family, and nothing goes on. So I mostly sat around and edited other things, and then waited for people to get back to me about things I had to do over the weekend. So I mostly worked and waited to work, that's a little snapshot of my life.
That's America for you.
That's America. Red, white, and boo-hoo.
Yeah, that's fireworks, no burgers,
well, the people behind us were shooting off fireworks like constantly, and it was, the cat was scared and he hid under the steps like he always does. That's about it. It's I have not done anything significant for 4th of July in about 5 years.
Wow.
No, since 2019 was the last significant 4th of
Not
July.
even for 250. You're like, I'm gonna crawl out of the dungeon and
No, there was nowhere to go, nothing to do, and there was too much
hmm,
work to do to ignore it. So I
that's
just
fair.
I
You
buckled
are a
down and
working
did it.
man.
I'm a working man. I'm making my money. I'm going to Harvard. I'm smart. I'm working hard.
That's great.
Soldiers of God are on the march.
If only you had been there, you would have
I
never
know.
stopped quoting that.
I know.
It's a
I
real
have it
thing that
secondhand, unfortunately.
friend of the show and local historian Jack Prochaska and I heard when we were in Salem, Massachusetts,
Jack
uh,
Prochaska.
where this guy was talking about how the soldiers had got it on the march. The end
The
is
end is
near.
near.
And then he congratulated this girl on graduating high school. She had it all over her car.
Mm,
Yeah. And he
that
said
was
what
great.
Santino said. I had a good 4th of July. I had a good
Yeah.
4th of July.
You sent me
Go
pictures. It looks like a fun time.
Yeah, I went over to a friend of mine's house, and then a whole bunch of us met up in Menor, Ohio, and saw the fireworks. And there were so many plot lines converging of the last like 3 months of my life that it was overwhelming. And I was just looking around, going, "Huh, huh, huh," and it was quite interesting to watch. Fireworks in more ways than one.
It's like the end of a
So
thriller when they start flashing all the things you miss, and they're like, "Oh, that was that, and that was this thing, and oh, Uncle John, he was actually a
it's
puppet the whole time." It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of that, but like we'll be looking back at that moment
hmm
in a future installment, I
that
think.
was
Because we'll be like,
the
they
watershed
were,
moment.
and wait, she was,
Mhm.
and he and I was sitting on a lawn chair going, "Yep, fireworks." And then everyone's like, "The fireworks suck this year," and they're what they were every single year. Like people were expecting them to like light the sky on fire because it was the, you know, 250th whatever, and they didn't do that, so people were a little upset. But
They blew the roof off of things down here. It was lighting up the sky, and we had like a heat storm at the same time, so there was like lightning everywhere.
oh wow,
So yeah, it was like
we
I wasn't sure if I was seeing the sky lighting up because of fireworks or if it was lightning, and it was both. It was
wow
really weird.
we uh we had pretty intense fog roll through at the end, and I think everyone was like, "Is this not at the end of the fireworks, but like at the end of the night?" It was like, "Is this smoke from fireworks?" No, it wasn't.
It might have
It
been
was
smog.
fog.
It might have
It
been a
might
bit of both.
it might have been a little bit of both, but it was like, "This is fog," but it's
Yeah.
really odd timing because I was at first like, "Oh my gosh, what am I breathing right
Yeah.
now?"
Well, I
But
mean, it gets smoky around here, and if you have the
yeah.
moisture and the fog that you get up at the lake, I mean, it'll mix. It's very scientific. I don't want to get into it right now, but it'll mix. You know.
Yeah, if you put those two things long enough together that they'll
Yeah.
so that was my 4th. It was fun. I beaded on the 4th, beading like the little
Mm.
you make a keychain that's made out of beads.
Oh, that I heard three different things that my brain was trying to process. I'm like, none of those can be it.
Beaded.
Bead, yeah, as in beading, as in the hobby of putting beads on a string. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was
I did
hearing
that
other
for the
things
first
entirely.
time.
How was it?
It was all right. I did pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, that's beading. Welcome to beads. Remember, folks, I used to work at a craft store.
Yeah,
I'm a
for those of you
professional.
not playing along at or
Yeah.
those of you
Hey, for
not
those
playing
not
along
playing
at
at
home,
home, why are you even have this on in the background? You don't even care. Go
what
back
are
to your
you
sports.
yeah, you want to turn back on the guards game. Go Tribe.
This
But
this is that portion of the show in every show where Santino starts berating the audience and challenging them to
yeah,
turn the episode off.
yeah,
You
we're here.
jerks.
So this episode, we're talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Its Galaxy, right?
Galaxy, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get the right
Oh,
enunciation on
Galaxy.
it. Galaxy, get the enunciation right.
So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Yep.
uh, which is a movie,
2005.
a 2005 film. I had never seen it before, and why don't you tell the folks at home all about it?
Where do I begin? It's based on a novelization of a BBC
Wait, wait, wait,
radio
wait.
show.
Oh, really? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was about to like tease you. See, remember when we are like, is it going to be incoherent? I guess I was leaning
Yeah.
in a bit too far. So it's a novelization
Yeah.
of another thing.
Yeah. So the original author, Douglas Adams, came up with the idea in the 70s. He wrote it as a serialization for BBC Radio. It had several episodes. I forget how many exactly, how long it ran. And then he started publishing them the plot lines into novels. And so the first novel was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Then the second was Restaurant at the End of the Universe. The third one, I can't remember the name, but it was originally a trilogy. And then he wrote like a fourth one, and then a fifth one came out, and then it was still called a trilogy. And then they just started saying, the fourth book in the trilogy.
Yeah.
And so it's got a wit about it for sure. But the whole basic plot line is that the story revolves around Arthur Dent, who's just your average Englishman, who wakes up one day to find that the city is bulldozing his house to build a pass-through, so a highway. And as that's happening, his friend Ford Prefect, played by Mos Def in this film, comes to save him because he tells him that the Earth's about to be destroyed. And it is. The Earth's destroyed, and they manage to hitchhike onto a ship, one of the ships that destroyed Earth, and then they meet a bunch of zany characters, and they go all over the galaxy trying to find a new home, and also try to find a planet called Magrathea, where there is the answer to the universe, life, and everything. Meanwhile, Arthur, it's kind of a love story too, because he met a woman named Trisha McMillan at a fancy dress party who he totally blew it with. But she happens to also be on the ship, and so now he's got a second chance at love. That's kind of the movie,
Yeah.
as best as I can
No, that's
distill it.
really good. That's really good. I think when we get into initial like impressions and like what I had already known about this movie,
Mhm.
I knew very little about this film. I knew it was like fairly popular.
Mhm. It's
Um,
very popular.
so I knew very little, except that this movie's fairly popular. Um, and that like I knew the book thing. I didn't know the novelization of a radio show thing, but and that I knew 42. I knew that
The
because
answer to life, the
a
universe, and everything.
guy I know, a buddy of mine from church, who hasn't seen many movies, has seen this movie, and he'll say that if you're making any sort of reference to what things like what's the meaning of life.
Mhm.
So I knew that. And honestly, I was watching this movie and we've kind of given the plot and like I would start it and I was like, okay, keep in mind, I had told you, hey, if we want to do anything patriotic, now's the time. And I
Mhm.
wasn't sure if you had done that, and I was pretty sure you hadn't. But I was like,
Yeah, I forgot about that
I
entirely.
I uh I start watching a British comedy, and I'm like, okay, why is he having me watch this kind of in general? I was like,
Right.
what's going on? What's the deal? What's the goal now? But just watching it, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. Mos Def as an alien.
Hmm.
Okay,
It
what's really
works.
like this is fun. I love Mos Def. He's got a
Hmm.
great like just voice, fun guy, great guy, love him. And I was like, why is he making me watch this at this point in the show? Because I feel like there's like other things. And then we get to when the aliens show up,
Hmm.
and there's like a over the shoulder of like a creature design of the whatever it is. I forget. It's been too long.
The Vogon.
The Vogon. And I
Mhm.
go instantly like, this is why he said I could watch this. And I was like, and I was in. Like, if
Yeah.
that makes it was like kind of like,
So the
okay.
first
And
10
like
minutes, you're
and
like, I don't know.
the
And then
humor
11
was pretty
minutes.
good.
Yeah.
Like, because in that you get like the weird flashback to the party, and like
Hmm.
that's funny. And like that whole like that's good. But it's kind of like, this is funny, but why this? And then it was the Vogon. I was like, okay, I'm
Yep.
in. Here we are. Which just is to say, like, really in like intense, really well done, like creature design, visual
Mhm.
effects, like practical,
Yeah.
like mostly practical
Nearly
monster
entirely.
science.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, here we are. And I was like, and somehow like that in the not encyclopedic, far from encyclopedic, but in the knowledge base of like movies that have good visual effects, this
Hmm.
was not on my radar, which
Right.
was interesting. So like at all. So that was not a point in my brain till I saw
Hmm.
that monster, and then I was like, oh, okay, here
So
we
you
are.
had no other prior knowledge, no trailer, no nothing. You saw the
I don't
poster I
think
sent
so.
you, and then you just watched it. So when did you
Yeah,
watch this? Because we
I
talked
watched
about doing this
this.
like a week ago. So our timeline is way off because it was like last Sunday, the Sunday before this
I
past Sunday.
don't even know.
Yeah.
I might have watched it No,
Was it last
didn't I
Monday?
text you? Didn't I text you like now would be the perfect time for me to watch something?
Yeah,
I
and then I
texted you that
texted
on a day.
that was last Monday.
Yeah, then I that was last Monday.
Okay, so it's been a week.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't incoherent enough, guys, it's going to get way weirder with us trying to remember a week back.
Yeah. And that because you had asked me if I'd ever seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and then I said, have you, for future reference, ever watched an entire game of basketball?
Right.
That was a pretty good text message of mine. Because for for future reference for the show, I
Right.
might have Santino watch an entire episode of or an entire episode of basketball. You know, the TV show
WNBA.
basketball. Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe. I should put her in the thumbnail and see. That helps. So yeah, that was my initial impression. I should pull up my notes because I took notes. That would
Oh,
really
good.
help us out. Stall for time. I'm here.
That was a little number I call waiting.
Have you ever played me the fish song? Because that's what it started out with.
So
The
long and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah,
I think
you
I've sang it before.
you
Like
have like
I've referenced this movie.
you have a more all encompassing uh recollection of when we hang out than I do.
Yeah,
You
I'm
have a
pretty
better
sure
memory than I do.
I've referenced it before. I've referenced this
Okay,
movie many
because
times.
that was familiar. Because that's how this movie starts. The movie
Hmm.
starts kind of like a nature documentary
Hmm.
about how all the dolphins left.
Yeah. And this is another reason why I wanted you to watch this
Like,
movie.
wait, and let me just say this: all the dolphins leave Earth
Yep.
because they're the
There you
second
go.
most intelligent, or they're the third most.
I
The
can't
second or
remember.
third
Yeah.
most intelligent creature on Earth.
Yeah. And
And
they're
then there's a song. There's a song,
mhm,
kind of in like a big band style.
mhm.
Uh,
Like a Broadway big band. Like, yeah,
yeah, show
show-stopping number.
tunes.
So long and
That's
thanks for all the fish.
yeah. So, and I was kind of like, what am I watching?
Right. That right there, that reaction, what am I watching? That's the primary reason why I wanted you to watch this movie. Secondary to that
Yeah,
was like the humor and then the VFX. But primarily, it's a movie that you don't know what it's gonna be moment to moment. And that's why I was like, he's got to see it.
yeah. You really don't. You really. It's a wild ride. You kind of don't ever know where we're gonna go next.
I mean, you settle into a bit of a rhythm by like halfway through, but it's still there's never a point where you can really predict what's going to happen. Was your dad present for this one, or was it just you?
Just me.
Darn. So lights go down, dolphins come out. You're like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
then we get so the dolphins evacuate first because they know where it's going to be destroyed, and then it's British comedy, and then they hitchhike onto the ship. How did you feel about the shot that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger to show you like
I thought that
dun
was
dun 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 dun,
yeah,
and
that
it
was
just
fun.
keeps
So
yeah.
there's like right before that when the aliens show up, there's like pretty much like stock footage of cities and like screaming we hear from below. I
Yeah.
thought that was really funny. Yeah, and then there's to show the scale of everything, there's these like hard cuts that we
Mm.
keep going up. And those were like I kind of was like, is this what it's supposed to be? But I guess so, because it keeps going.
It just keeps going. And every
It's
time you
good.
think you're done, it just keeps going. So I think especially number one, because this movie is so dense, and two, because it's been a week, there's no way we're going to be able to do blow by blow on this thing. So it's more a matter of like, just discuss what you remember. I might bring up a few things and we'll call it good. It's not going to be as thorough, ladies and gents.
Yeah, because I mean, I have notes, and I guess I stopped taking notes a decent amount into the movie, and the last note I have is the whale.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like two-thirds of the way through.
Yeah.
That's when
So
they get to Magathea. So
yeah. So the opening score of the movie is very interesting. The like title score where it's like kind of like that like banjo-y thing. I was like, oh, this is
yeah.
interesting. I like that.
Andy likes a banjo.
Um, there's that the hearing fish
Hmm.
that's like a he's like, you're gonna need this, and it's this fish that allows you to hear in alien languages,
Yep.
which is interesting.
Yeah, it ingests spoken frequencies and it poops out understandable frequencies. There's a
Yeah.
lot of really high concept stuff in this thing too.
There's a
It's
lot of
like
high
Rick and
concept stuff
Morty
that'll
before Rick and Morty.
yeah, that they'll just kind of like throw at you.
Mm. And
in
Stephen
a good
Fry
way.
narrating.
Yeah.
Pretty great. He explains the Hitchhiker's Guide. It's a book written, for people in space so that they can know where to go. And
Yeah.
Arthur and Ford do manage to hitchhike onto a Vogon ship right before it's destroyed. And then, yeah, that's when we get the fish because the Vogons realize they've got
Yeah.
hitchhikers on board. So sticks the fish in his ear. Now he can understand them. They get Vogon poetry, which is pretty
The
great.
Vogon poetry is really good because it's so bad that it's
Mhm.
literally used to torture like the inhabitants of the ship or like any hitchhikers.
Yep.
And the creature design of the Vogons is really kind of surreal to like look at.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
Jim
like this
Henson.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's why it's real good. They move really fluidly for what they are.
yes,
Like those giant mouths, the Vogons are designed to look like caricatures of like English politicians and things from like the turn of the
hmm
century. And so they've got like these pushed up noses and these big fat lips and like pear-shaped heads. And they're fantastic designs. And there's like stubble on them and everything moves and shakes. And it's a
yeah.
bunch of
They
people in
look,
costumes.
yeah. Do you know if it's like one? Is it obviously like one person per costume
Yeah.
for those most of the time?
I'm
Okay,
not sure. I think the arms might just be rod operated because the
that's
arms are like
yeah,
tiny little noodles that just kind of
yeah,
dangle, but they've got like these big potato bodies. Um, I love when he's reading the poetry. So Ford and Arthur, for the folks playing along at
yeah,
home, they get kidnapped, they get taken up to the bridge because they're stowaways, and so to be tortured, he reads poetry to them, and the poetry is like gibberish. And then at the very end, he punctuates it with, "See if I don't." And that's the only thing you can understand. And I love that. Dad and
yeah.
I will quote that to each other every now and then. We'll say something crazy and then we'll just be like, "See if I don't."
Oh, that's great.
They get released from the ship
Yeah,
and there's like the airlock gag. Did you notice the thing that
dude,
I always
that is
reference that
funny.
like,
No, I love that he's like, oh, what does he say? Did I write it down? I don't think so. Oh, he goes, yeah. What's this? What's this? Oh yeah, we're gonna die. And he
yeah,
spins
this
the
is nothing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
this is
that all
nothing.
the time.
Yeah,
And
what's this?
nobody
What's
knows
this?
what
Yeah,
I'm referencing.
yeah, yeah. The airlock where they like you think it's gonna open behind them, and it
Mhm.
then they just drop down.
Yep, that's fantastic. And then you get like a statistic about how long you can survive in space on a lung full of air. And then the ship shows up, another ship, the Heart of Gold ship,
Yeah,
piloted by intergalactic President Zaphod Beeblebrox, played by the incomparable Sam Rockwell. And they get picked up by the ship miraculously. Um, and that's a whole other, like every other scene, you're thrown into almost a whole new world and you have to catch up.
yeah. So then they're like on this sci-fi ship, this other
Mhm.
sci-fi ship, and um, we get introduced to this intergalactic president who we've kind of met before, who earlier does with a party favor pretends to like smoke it,
Mhm.
like a whatever that's called. I don't know the
Yeah,
technical
I don't
term,
even know.
but if you know, you know. And
Maker.
yeah, we'll say that. And we get introduced to the ship. My favorite part of the ship is Eddie the computer, who's kind of the voice on the computer, like the Jarvis, if you will.
He's
But he's
really
like,
happy.
yeah, he's programmed to be like overly happy, and it's really great. I love Eddie.
Well, he balances out Marvin because Marvin's super depressed.
Yeah, and there's this robot Marvin who's like
Alan
Santino said.
Rickman.
Yeah.
Great cast on this movie, by the way.
Yes.
Zoe Deschanel and Martin Friedman and everybody,
Bilbo
everybody, John
Baggins
Malkovich.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Malkovich's character is what's his character's name? You remember? I'm sure you do.
Hamakavula.
Yeah, Hamakavula, who
Yeah.
is the other person running for president of the galaxy
Mm.
when Sam
Yeah,
Rockwell's character died.
Zaphod beat him, but he ran a smear campaign of "Don't vote for stupid." There's a lot of satire in this as well.
Yeah,
It's a heady mix of things. But yeah, Marvin goes to fetch them because they find out that the ship picked up hitchhikers, and the Doors sigh. Ah.
yeah,
So, the ship's real interesting. Marvin takes them up, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Zaphod and Mos Def know each other." And
yeah.
then
They're
he
like
meets
related.
Trish. Yeah, I forget how that something on a third cousin from another planet or
Yeah,
something.
and Trish is there,
Hmm.
which
Yeah, because
all the places.
she went with him from the party, and so
Yeah, and
then
she doesn't know Earth is destroyed.
yeah, she doesn't
And
find that out until like the second end of the second act.
yeah, and Sam Rockwell has this weird thing where like his head, does the head thing happen yet? I don't think it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he threatens Arthur and tells him not to tell her. And then his head pops up. He's like, or I'll pull your spleen out through your throat. And then a third arm
And
comes out and slaps him.
yeah, and I don't understand that.
He's an alien.
Yeah, but like I thought they explained it as like they need to separate his heads.
Yeah, well, they needed to separate his personalities because certain parts of his personality isn't presidential. So they put the stuff that you can't be a president with a whole brain. So they put another part of his brain in the other head and stuck it down there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. When that happens, the very first time I saw this movie, I lost my crap. I had a whole laughing fit after that head
Wow.
pop. I thought that was one of the funniest things. I still
I was
love
just kind of like, what?
it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of moments like that in this movie. Like, what? What's happening?
I don't even see like there is so much that goes on in this movie. Uh, they just the thing with the ship is that it can like travel interdimensionally in like a very interesting and way where it like of all the possibilities it finds the way to get there, but it like also
Yeah.
transmorphs what it is, and
The
so it
infinite
like
probability drive.
yeah
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It transforms like the ship will turn into like cherries, a teacup, another thing, and then like pop into existence somewhere else and then like normalize
yeah
itself. And so every time that happens, everybody turns into something different.
we have like this like scene of like everything being different.
It's a little yarn stop
Yeah, the
motion when they go to the
yarn
next
scene is
place.
interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a really interesting concept. This movie is like very much more, I feel like, a vehicle. The plot is vehicle for concept than it is like trying to tell any particular story.
Mm. Yeah, I mean it's very, Rick and Morty is very much a similar way. There's a lot of concept. The concept is most of the story.
I like how you're wearing a Rick and Morty shirt as
Yes,
you're
yeah.
explaining this.
Let me out. And so yeah, that's the idea is like there is a story, but the story, what's funny is, and Rick and Morty does this too, is they tell a very small story against the backdrop of this massive thing with all these crazy concepts, but it's
Yeah,
always just like domestic problems. And the same thing is true of this. Like Arthur just wants like a cup of tea and wants to go home and he wants to get with Trisha. Very simple story.
yeah,
But it's set against like these massive concepts, which is always amazing. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, they do that. I forget, honestly, I've seen this movie probably a dozen times. I still can't keep certain events in any order. Um, they engage the infinite probability drive when the Vogons show up to escape. Because the Vogons are
yeah,
pursuing them for multiple reasons, one of which being Zaphod, as the president, kidnapped himself and is flying the spaceship to try to find the planet of Magrathea so he can find the answer to the ultimate question, because that's going to make him more famous.
yeah,
So we do that, and then I actually forget where they end up. I think, oh, that's when Hamakavula comes in. They end up
yeah.
at whatever planet he's on, and then that's when we get John Malkovich, which is a lot of fun.
That
Bless you, but also that's their religion. Remember?
yes, that was a
Yes.
crazy. That's a crazy transition. Anyways,
Hey, we
I
planned this stuff
also
out, guys.
thought I also thought he said Hamakavula as like a swear because I forgot that was that guy's name.
Mhm.
And so they show up to see Hamakavula, played by John Malkovich, and he's kind of this like Catholic priest looking guy. And when we meet with him in like his chamber, he's got these big glasses that he takes off,
Hmm.
and we just see like he has cavities where his eyes should be.
Hmm.
And it's like, what the heck is going on? And he puts them back on, and then he like goes to get up, and where we've always assumed he has a torso, well, legs, he
Hmm.
doesn't have two bipedal legs like we do. He has these like little little robot legs, spider like robot legs. And I was like, what the heck is going this is freaky.
Eye candy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
their
cool.
entire religion there is, I forget what it's called, but it's like they believe the universe was sneezed into existence, and so they're waiting for the great tissue to come and wipe us away or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And I think Ford is on the planet looking for I forget what, but they're there. And
Yeah.
Hamakavula has the coordinates to Magrathea on like a little cube flash drive thing. But they have to trade, so Zaphod has to give him his other head. I don't really know
Yeah.
why, but he does. And then they can get the coordinates. But then the Vogons show up again. They start shooting a bunch of stuff. Sam
There's like a
Rockwell manages.
million Vogons.
Oh yeah.
Like there's so many of like so many creatures.
Resistance is useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell managed to get a dance in there, which he does in every movie, which the more you see Sam Rockwell, you realize is he'll dance in every movie because he's good at it. And then they kidnap Trisha, and then they get on a ship and fly away.
The Vogons.
The Vogons do, yeah. And so now the plot has kind of kicked over to, well, we got to get Trish back. And then the computer, there's this recurring thing with mice on the ship that keep like disabling things and chewing on wires. And that's like a harbinger, but we don't know why. It's like it's a plan and payoff, and it's not clear what it's about to
Yeah.
pay off yet.
Because it's like, oh no, there's mice on the ship. And
Right.
it's like, well, why is this?
And why is that a problem, or why
Yeah.
do I keep focusing on them? And so then they take the escape pod, they go to the Vogon planet, which is one of my favorite parts. So
It's
I don't
really
know.
it's so the whole Vogon aesthetic is very like concrete brutalism type stuff, I'd say. I might be wrong. Um it's like very damp also, and their planet is much like that. If you love it so much, do you want to make sure you do it justice and tell the folks at home
Well,
about the
there's
Vogon
really
planet?
no justice other than like the idea behind Vogons is they don't think, they don't do anything, they just run things, and so
And
they're
they're
just
bureaucratic.
yeah. And so their whole
Overly
planet,
bureaucratic.
the whole planet is just like it almost looks like giant filing cabinets that make up the city. And the ships themselves have little doors at the bottom. So everybody, like when the ship lands, they'll just get out for lunch
Hello?
and then they come back. It's like it's very corporate and very bureaucratic. And so I really want to get your first impression of like that whole sequence, especially when they first get on the planet and stuff happens.
So
Because
they get
that's
on the
hilarious.
they get on the planet, and every time like they start to like have like, okay, so how are we going to get in there? And then these things come out of the ground and slap them, and you're like, what's going on? And I also was like, what's going on? And then they just keep getting slapped, and it's anytime you have an idea,
Yeah.
the you get slapped
Yeah. These
by
little
this
like
planet. Yeah.
parasite things that look like spatulas come out of the ground, just smack you. And that's why Vogon's noses are just pushed all the way back up. And then they've just learned not to think anymore. They just do stuff.
Yeah. And so then they get this plan to like, they go into one of the buildings to like get out Trish. And like, they like, we're like, well, we need to get to the front of the line. How do we get to the front of the line? Which, by the way, there's like a million great little creature designs, like Moss Eisley Cantina level, like great creature designs in that moment when there's like a bunch of creatures from all around the universe waiting in line.
It's like one
And they're-
big BMV.
Yeah. And this whole time, Sam Rockwell has this thinking cap on that's run by lemons and that Mos Def has put on him. And so they're all trying to come up with what to do. And so then they figure it out that oh wait, we're with the president of the galaxy. And so then they just push themselves to the front of the line. And this Vogon lady's quite impressed that it's him, but they're just like caught up in their bureaucracy. And so they try to fill out a certain, like they need the right form, and they fill out one form, but it's not the presidential prisoner release form.
Yeah, those are
Like,
blue.
Yeah. But once you get that, then they're like, okay.
Yeah, and then they just let her go.
Yeah, and that's off. It's during the scene that we cut in between like Trish learning that Earth is destroyed and that Earth isn't of much account in the universe. And
that Sam Rockwell's character was the one who signed the order to destroy Earth.
Yes, and that's where we learn that.
Yeah.
So to put a highway through there, a bypass through there.
Yep. Intergalactic bypass. So yeah, so they save Trish fairly easily.
Yeah.
And then of course, realizing the president's there, the vice president or whoever that lady is, who seems
like
to
a
also be
lady
involved with him,
who's rather enamored with the president and just kind of wanting to make sure he's okay.
Well, and she's jealous of Zooey Deschanel too.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like that she's pretty and younger than her. So then like They get away with Trish, and then they're like, "Oh, we should go get the president." And then like a whistle blows, and they're like, "That's 1 hour for lunch." And then they all just go
Yeah.
to lunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, absurdism. This is the reason why I
Yeah.
wanted Andy to watch this movie because absurdism, satire, space, monsters, all the things. And so yeah, so then they're back off the planet. They go to Magrathea. They actually get there this time. But then Magrathea, the planet is closed. They don't want you to be there. And so like they try to go anyway, and they launch some nukes, and they manage to evade the
That's the
nukes.
whale.
That's the whale, yeah.
One of the nukes gets turned into a whale,
Mhm.
and there's this like great narration of like the whale being like, "Wait, what am I? Where am I?
Coming
I'll
to
call
terms with
this.
its identity.
Yeah, I'll call this fit. Like, it's what am I? Like, yeah, what am I? I have a tail. What whale? It's like, oh, what's this rushing to the ground?" And then he's because he's falling through the sky,
Mhm.
plummeting
Well,
to
there's a
his
big
death.
thing here. It's a big round thing. It needs a big name like round, ground. I'll call it ground. I wonder if it'll be friends with me. I am. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, that's I believe Eddie Izzard voicing the whale.
it's so
So
good.
another English comedian. So they managed to make it to the surface. They get there. There's just like some portals, and it's really cold. And so they go through the portal, and then Arthur's too late, and the portal shuts down. And so now it's just him and Marvin stranded on the planet for a little while. But Mos Def and Sam Rockwell and Zoe Deschanel, they do make it to this thing because we had a flashback that talked about like these pan-dimensional beings millions of years ago that built a supercomputer as voiced by Helen Mirren to figure
Yeah.
out the answer to the ultimate question.
But then like the answer is 42, but then
Yeah,
they realize they don't know what the ultimate question is.
right,
And that's kind of Sam Rockwell's quest.
right.
Is what's the question?
But it was Deep Thought is the computer, and Deep Thought built another supercomputer that can calculate
You're
the
right.
question.
You're right.
That's an important detail that I always forget because this movie is so flippin' dense.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so they get there. What the heck happens? They get there, and Deep
Well
Thought's
then
watching
well
TV.
then yeah, you're
That's just
right.
what
You're
it's
right.
been
Yeah.
doing for millennia. It's just been watching TV.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, you're in the way. um and then yeah, then they learn. I don't know. I think we cut back to Bilbo
Hmm.
and and this like old man approaches him. This odd
Yeah,
man is
Bill
like, "Come
Nye.
with me."
Oh yeah,
Bill Nye.
that's the
Is that the
actor, Bill
actor's name?
Nye.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not Bill
he
Nye, the
was
science
David.
guy.
No, he was Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I told
I
you,
didn't realize
the
that.
cast is stacked. But his character's name is
My jaw dropped when he said that for you audio listeners.
yeah, yeah. Andy's very, very impressed.
Wow, I didn't know
What
that.
what the heck is his name? His character's name is Slotty Bartfast. So he's gonna take Arthur to see something. And so they go through another portal and they just kind of leave Marvin.
Yeah.
And so now we're split up into three groups, which we never do check back in with Marvin, but we follow the other two. And so he goes with Slotty Bartfast, who is a planet designer.
Yes.
Turns out he built Earth. He got an
Yeah.
award for Norway. That was
Yeah, he's part of
his.
the team that made Earth.
Hmm.
And we get this
Um,
like really like whoa moment of like seeing all these planets,
mhm.
and we see like a Earth replica.
Earth 2.0, yeah.
Yeah.
They made a backup.
Which I love the absurdity of, because there's certain like and I don't necessarily think this will come up again as much as I think it should. There's certain like worldview underpinnings that maybe like kind of just made me go, okay, a lot.
Hmm.
But I love the absurdism, and it's intentionally done. That whenever we see like a crew working on remaking Earth, it's one guy doing, or like a few people doing one thing. Like the
Hmm.
idea of like one guy filling up the ocean, at
Yeah,
least this part of it
with a
in
big
like
hose.
Ireland, or it's like that's funny. Like
Hmm.
that worked. In that moment, I was kind of like, this is interesting, but it's like obviously absurd, right? Like that's
Well, like they
I
paint the Grand Canyon or whatever. They paint the
yeah,
rocks in Utah to be orange. They don't come
yeah,
that way. It's not an
yeah,
intrinsic color.
yeah. So like it's that level of absurdity that I appreciated, is like, well, like it just looks silly
Mhm.
to say that like any person would be like making this and we're gonna make it look funny.
So we get all that. And it's very like the effects here are great. They do a great job with scale. They're like on this little
Yeah.
heister thing that like is zipping around infinitely all over the planet. And
And
so
it
he
works. Like,
takes,
yeah.
yeah,
The
it
scale
works
works
really
on that
cool.
really.
And Arthur, and this is 2005, and it's a pricey movie. It's 40 to 50 million, but it's not like Marvel blockbuster either. So like they're doing a lot, and they're doing a lot with miniatures, they're doing a lot with puppets, they're doing a lot with CG. Like they're mixing a lot of things here. And they're doing a great job of it. And then eventually he finally gets Arthur back home, and everything's back in its place. And then I think at this point we're intercutting back and forth between this and Zaphod's crew because there's like he gets really disappointed because
Well, and a plot line that
right.
we didn't mention is that the guy who was running for president of the universe that
Hmm. John Malkovich,
John Malkovich is playing,
Amakavula.
like wanted a gun that they made.
That's right. The point
And
of
they're
view gun.
looking for that gun, but we don't
Mm.
know it's the point of view gun. We know it's this gun.
We just know
And
it's a gun.
we learn it's the point of view gun when this very comedic scene where if you shoot this gun, then the person you're talking to sees something from your point of like sees the world from your point of view.
Right. Which would be an incredibly useful gun. Could you
Yeah.
imagine? And it was made by a commission of angry housewives.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff in there. We can't get into all of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, they do that. And of course, there's the drama that's going on, the whole love story between Trish and Arthur. And so she feels like she might have blown it with Arthur, and she doesn't know if she's going to see him again. And she's been around the universe with the guy who signed the order to destroy Earth. And so there's like all this other stuff going on. And then they get attacked. And then I think that's when we cut back to Arthur. We don't see what the heck
Yeah.
happens. And they're just at his house. They're at his house now, and everybody's there, and they're eating a bunch of food. And it was the mice.
Yeah. And that's what we learn is it's the mice. The mice are the most intelligent
Yes,
beings on Earth. And they're actually the ones who commissioned
the
the
building of Earth. Because
which
Earth is the computer.
yeah,
Yeah.
which that's cool. I like that like that this is somehow the computer to calculate the ultimate question.
Mhm.
That's why Earth is special.
Right. Yeah, that's a cool concept.
I like that.
The mice are the pan-dimensional beings we see in the previous, in like the flashback that they had. And they want the ultimate question. And then they attack Arthur. They try to cut his brain out.
Yeah.
And then he kills him. And then that's pretty much almost it, except then the Vogons show up again. Like
Yeah.
the end of this movie has like 4 endings on it. Like by the time we get
Yeah.
to this point, and I'll say this about the movie. I mean, obviously I like the movie, but one criticism is big, big, what am I trying to get at here? Like
Big.
high, yeah,
Sorry.
big, like high concept, big scale sci-fi satire, absurdist hijinks for an hour and 50 or whatever does get a bit exhausting by the time you get to the last like 15 minutes of the movie. You're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm enjoying it, but also there's like 5 endings here, and I think we need to be done. And it's at that point when the Vogons show up and they start shooting at everything again. And then Marvin shows up. I don't know if he got a ride from the Vogons or what the heck
He
happens because
shows back up.
yeah, he walks through the gate, and then the Vogons accidentally shoot Marvin in the head.
Yeah.
But then
Marvin shows up with the point of view gun.
yeah, he's got the gun somehow, and then he just gets back up, and apparently it has a setting that can just like shoot instead of one person, it can just like fan out in a 180-degree circle like a shockwave, and he shoots them, and they all fall over like dominoes, all depressed, which is pretty great. You go
Yeah.
ask yourself, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so they pack all the Vogons into like one truck, just pack them in there like sardines and send them off. And then they're getting ready to push the start button on Earth. I think that's when he asks Arthur if there's anything he wants to change. And he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be part of this anymore. And then they leave and they decide they're going to try to find the restaurant at the end of the universe. And he and
Yeah.
Trisha, of course, are assumedly going to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
And he did the whole thing in his bathrobe.
Yeah. That he did. That's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Galaxy. So I don't know if you had any notes that we haven't addressed or if you wanted to just talk about general ideas,
I think
general
general
theme.
ideas, general things. I mean, I like this movie.
Hmm.
It was an enjoyable watch. I think if I had been a little better, and this is like, hey, this is the nature of the show, but like if I had maybe been a little more prepared for what it was, I would have enjoyed it more. Maybe. But I thought it was funny. I loved the effects and the design. Um I think I have to sometimes be in like the right mood for political universal satire. And I
Hmm.
might have not been in the perfect mood for it watching the movie, but it's well done. It's
Hmm.
well done. It is, and it is really funny. Um, and I think it's such an interesting movie because I I know people know this movie, but I don't know why it's not appreciated more
Hmm.
just by nature of what it is. Because it's like '05. It's kind of what blockbusters have become, but it's not necessarily what I feel like blockbuster vibe was then.
No.
It's almost like when Guardians of the Galaxy shows up 9 years later or whatever it
Hmm.
was, people are like lost their minds. But they're very different in many ways,
Hmm.
obviously, but they're also they got the same word in the title. Like I
Hmm.
don't know, they got enough similarities that like and
They're
all
both
credit to
movies. They
yeah,
both have Galaxy in the title. What more you
they're
want,
like
people?
they're both in space. There's a lot
Yep.
of aliens in both.
Yep. Well, I think, and
A guy
Hitchhiker's Guide, to
wants to
be
get with a
fair,
girl.
that's a lot of
And
movies.
in defense of both, they are like both original enough
Mhm.
concepts for things adapted from other things. Like,
Sure.
yeah,
I think Hitchhiker's Guide is definitely more of an acquired taste. One, because it's British humor, and two, because it's just so dense. It's not
yeah.
an, it's not an, it's not a hard watch, but it's not an easy watch if you don't want to pay attention.
It's a rich brownie of
Yes.
a movie. It's
Yes.
a treat, but you got to almost take it slow.
Yeah. You can't shove it all in there at once, or you're gonna
No,
choke.
yeah, or you're gonna be like, oh, why I
Yeah.
do that?
And that's honestly like I have to be, and speaking of moods, I have to be in the right mood to watch this movie. I can't watch, like, I've seen it many times, but I watched it when I was a teenager for the first time. So like it's been around.
Yeah,
I can't watch it like once a year. I can't watch it once every 2 years. Like I need time between it to be like in
yeah,
the mood for it. And I would dare argue for my taste anyway, and not to be like, not to make it sound like I don't like the movie because I do. But to my taste, there are other films and other literary works that do this kind of thing, but for me, better. And maybe not even better, but just more, yeah, not better. Nix that. They do it at a slightly different wavelength that I like more. They're
yeah,
both done well, but I think, space for me is always like, anyway. Like I'm not a big space guy.
yeah.
And there are stories that do this kind of thing but not in space. And I like that vibe better.
Like
But I
what?
still like, huh?
Like what?
Like John Dies at the End.
Okay,
It's very high concept, but it's horror comedy and it deals with more paranormal supernatural things instead of like space and other junk. And I just like that vibe better.
that's fair.
But that's just me. But yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide is great. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
So do we want to get to a rating?
I think we can get there. I think we're moving fast, but I think we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I give it.
it's such a dense movie, but also you can't go
I
over every
watched it
little
two
bit of it.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Basically. So yeah. I'd give it probably like this is a good movie. So
mhm.
I'd give it like a 6.8,
Oh wow, nice.
I think.
Mhm.
Like it's not like it's respectable. I respect the work of it, but maybe it's
Yeah.
just the mood. Maybe if you catch me in the right mood, I'd bump it up a bit more, but
Mhm.
I'd say 6.8. 6.8. Just
6.8. All right, extra points. That's actually a little higher than I thought you would go. I was thinking you'd be like around a 6.5, 6.4. I figured you'd have a good time with it. I
Yeah.
didn't think you would
I'm
get
not
so
crazy
close with
about
it.
it, to be
Right.
fair. I want to look into like the visual effects more, and I've been meaning to do that for 2 weeks. But it's been a crazy 2 weeks. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, 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 yeah. You know, yeah.
And all that jazz. Yeah.
So I like that. What would you give it?
I'd give it, I mean, I think it'd be really close to your rating actually, because it's for me, it's close to being a modern classic, and I think in a lot of ways it deserves to be because of what it is and because of the source material. If I was being completely objective, I'd probably give it like a 6.9 or a 7 because it is just so new and weird and interesting. Um, that said, if I was being very subjective, it is not to my taste, the ultimate version of this kind of thing. So I'd probably meet somewhere in the middle and give it like a 6.9 and go, it's pretty darn good. It's a lot of fun. You got to be in the right mood for it, but it is a lot of fun. And as far as absurdist movies go, it's not my favorite absurdist movie. We covered my
Yeah,
favorite absurdist movie back in like February or whenever we did White Noise. So, it's
yeah,
it's no white
oh yeah,
noise. Which your dad still has to watch that. I'm still
yes.
looking forward to the day when Mark
Hopefully
goes,
that'll be soon.
that's gonna be I'm really looking forward to it.
For
But
the few playing along at home, uh, and I want to make sure this is like true before I say it because it sounds so silly. That's how long it's been since Dad and I've both been in the same place long enough to be like, let's watch a movie.
wow. Didn't he watch Nacho with you?
Yes, so it's
Okay.
not. See, I knew it
It's not
wasn't
been that
true,
long. Okay.
but it's
But
like,
that's still a while.
but
Nacho was still a couple months.
and that's like that's the one other time where I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch this. You wanna with me? So like,
Hey, where's he been, man? Does he just keep getting on planes?
we're both busy. We're
Yeah.
both busy, and we kind of have opposite schedules. Where like I tend to be free and wild in the evenings, and he's at
Mhm.
home, and vice versa. And I also I watch movies for the show, and that's about
Mhm.
it. And other time, if I'm watching something, it's sports.
Right. Because
So
you sport so
yeah,
hard.
the NBA, the NBA Finals got in there. That's the game. There's a game from this year's NBA Finals that I'd want you to watch, but I wish I could somehow like wipe your brain of being like, I don't know. I want you to watch it, but like I wouldn't actually. There's a reason I asked you, but it's like it would never work
Right.
because I don't know. But I also don't want to say too much because we might run out of things on the show to talk about for me. So I might have to make you watch it one day. So I'm in like 2036 when we're still doing this
And we
show.
still do it. Until year 2525, if Andy and Santino are still alive,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this show. Um, so obviously this did not have your heart.
I don't think it does, but it's nothing
Yeah.
personal. Like it's a
No.
respect. Like I get a queen for another king. You
Yeah.
know?
Wow. You're really trying hard to not make that movie mad. Like it's okay. You could tell the movie we had a good time, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Queen for
It's
another
it's
king.
it's not
I gotta
it's not it.
remember
It's
that.
me.
Right.
That's a shout out my boy Jared Hackney. That is a Jared Hackneyism from
Wow.
like 2023 that has stuck around, and
That's
it
a
was
good one.
describing a particular person. And
That's a good one.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it doesn't have my heart. When I was younger, it was close. As I'm older, I think I've my tastes have changed a bit, but I still enjoy it. And I think it's one of those movies everybody needs to see just so they can experience just a tidal wave of creativity and weird things,
Yeah.
if for no reason other than that.
No,
So
totally. Very much respect this movie, but yeah, awesome. Well, if you like the show, uh we won't be regularly releasing it. I'm only going to assume until like the fall, hopefully.
yeah,
So
maybe by August-ish we will get back
yeah,
to
we're going to be busy. We'll try to record here in the next maybe like week and a half, 2 weeks. We'll
well, the
see.
original idea was that it would be every other week, right? So that would
Yeah,
be two
but that
weeks
would
from
mean
now.
yeah. So if we're going to keep every 2 weeks from when we release an episode because we're late,
Right,
then it would be, and I'm just going to release this when I have time to edit it. So
right.
it'll probably be before Friday. So we'll just keep it going. We also have to
We'll just
hang
figure it
out,
out. Yeah.
which I'm more interested in doing than another episode of this show right away. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my Mondo Godzilla poster, um, Marvel Comics Godzilla right here, let me know. I love this thing. It's awesome.
It's
Santino, any other last words?
that sounds really final. I knew it. He's gonna kill me now. I knew it.
Yeah. The drone strike is on its
The
way.
drone strike. Yeah, it's gonna use the it's gonna be Havana syndrome, and my ears are gonna start ringing and my head will explode scanner style. No, good stuff, good show, good talk. Everybody listen to older episodes until we get out some new ones. Don't worry,
Oh,
don't even trip, bro. It's gonna be okay. Go back and listen to the Reservoir Dogs episode. I think it was our most popular episode. Go
some
check
episodes
out,
supplanted it, and I forget what it is. I think, or it's
is it
close.
Nacho?
No, I think Nacho is. Yeah, here's the thing. If you like this show, there's more of it.
Yeah, there's more
We've
of it.
been
You
doing
know,
it for a while. We've
yeah.
honestly been probably almost doing it for a year, if
It'll
not.
be a year at the end of August.
Okay, so yeah, we've been doing it for a while. You probably haven't listened to every episode of the show.
No.
And if you have, I love you.
I mean, if we don't get majorly derailed this summer, like we'll make it a year and like that'll be an
Yeah.
accomplishment. So guys, you gotta, if you like this show, you gotta prove it. Okay.
You can
So
also find stuff with Santino and I out there on the internet and other places.
I
There's
wouldn't
On the
look
Trail
for
of
it.
Hauntings.
Wouldn't look
There's
for it.
Paranormal Unexplained. I'd look for Unexplained.
That's
Unexplained's
all
out there
that
now.
unexplained's fun. Yeah. It's on
Uh
Tubi or whatever.
yeah, Unexplained's out there. That's about it. There's
That's
a
about it.
I Have Bizarre Sunday you could go and look and check out
Yep, you get that.
if you want more Andy, which
Shameless
don't know why you
plugs.
would do that. If you want to see me posting regularly somewhere, I am on Instagram for some reason these days.
Yeah, you
So
got back on. That's a
it's like my
new trend.
weird way of coping with some of what's going on is just like if I think of something funny, I'll post it on my
Dang.
story. So gotta
Knocking the
get attention
cobwebs
somehow.
off.
What'd you say?
They're knocking the cobwebs off.
Yeah, I am.
That was a dusty old account.
I
It's
had
active
no
again.
clue what you said. I heard like gabba dabba dabba
Gabba
da.
gabba da, ba ba ga,
Yeah.
ba ga, ba da ba da ba da, gabba da da ba, ba,
Gadabba gadabba da.
ba.
You're almost doing the Tucker
and
bangadities.
and here's the thing. I mean, that could be very interesting. We
Is it
wouldn't we don't know the full extent of what's going on. And frankly,
um
that's very concerning.